What's up, everybody? Welcome to Live Fridays with the Traveling Tennis Coach, a platform I use to interview coaches, pro players, tennis enthusiasts, you name it. My name is Chris Clark, former college tennis player, tennis coach, and of course, good old fashioned tennis enthusiast. Today, my guest doesn't need much of an invite. He gave me a couple points to tell everybody about him, but he is a former junior world number one. He has won both the Australian Open Juniors and Wimbledon Juniors. He has a career high of 38 on the ATP Tour, as well as he has 7 years in the top 100. So I'm going to welcome in Donald Young in the next couple of minutes. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section and we'll do our best to get to them. So give it just a second. Give it a second. Let me invite him in. Give it 1 second.
Yo, what's
What's
up,
up,
man?
man?
How's it going? It's been a minute.
It's been some years,
Been
right?
a long time, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Long time.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I was like, man, the last time I was on the court was when I
Yeah.
was like 12 years old.
Right.
And I was like just this young lad out there, didn't know what was going on, right?
Right. Man, it's been a long time. It's good stuff. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. How have you been?
Good, good. Healthy, man. Just as good as it can be during these times. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
man. I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear
Yeah.
you, man. Same here, man. It's raining,
Yeah.
but as long as I'm healthy and happy, you know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
complain.
Where are you right now?
So I'm in Chicago.
Okay, nice. It's raining. How's the weather? But like, it's hot now. It's getting hot.
Yeah, it's in the 90s, so it's
Oh,
it's perfect tennis weather,
yeah,
and
perfect.
everybody's
Yeah,
flocking to the courts.
man, nothing better than Chicago summer. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
nothing.
So I started this platform, one to connect with people, but two to try to get an inside look at what pros and
Yeah.
coaches and
Okay.
enthusiasts like what they're doing during this time. So
Right.
again, thanks for jumping on. I really
No,
appreciate it.
no, glad I
And
could come on, man. Yeah.
yeah, and also I wanted to say I'm just gonna jump right into it with a few
Okay, let's
questions.
do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I was talking with a few people, and I was like, growing up, you were a household name, especially in the Midwest, right? And I
Yeah.
was just curious, like, just to kick things off, like, how did you get into tennis?
And my parents played, so they actually met on the tennis court. So I started when I was about 3, and
Okay.
they met playing mixed doubles against each other. So
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting. So we didn't have a babysitter growing up, so it's kind of like, hey, Don, if you come on the court and you're quiet and you're good, you get your chance to get out there and hit. So if I was
Yeah.
good, and quiet, I got a chance to hit. So it was incentive for me to be quiet, be good, and then I got a few minutes after. So that was pretty much how it started, to be honest.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
And did they, like, as you grew, did you get to play more? Like, did they stop playing and you got to play more, or?
Yeah, so it took a lot longer for my dad to stop his playing. Like, he was ultra competitive, but my mom, she kind of took the back seat. So yeah, it was more of her traveling and playing with me at first, and then my dad jumped in a little later. So I played my first tournament. I was like 6 years old,
Okay.
and yeah, I didn't know how to keep score. My dad didn't think that was important, so I got cheated. The guy played until he won the game. So that's how I went the first tournament. But 6 years old, my first tournament, and then it just kind of progressed since then.
Wow. 6 years old. And at
Yeah,
what age did you win your first tournament?
I don't even know. I want to say 8 or 9, maybe something like that. Yeah,
And
that's
like winning that young, did you think it was just like, hey, this is what it's supposed to be, or did you realize like how good you were? You know what I mean?
No, I just enjoyed playing, to be honest. Just the whole being on the court, competing. I loved hitting, and I just loved it. So it was more of like a fun thing to do after school. Like on the weekends, that's what I got to do. When school was over and Friday hit, travel to a
Yeah.
tournament and play somewhere in Illinois.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of your dad too, I saw what was it? I saw a video of you out there grinding with him, and I
Yeah.
know I always think back to my dad taking me to tennis tournaments and my mom picking up serves and stuff like that. Like, how special is it for you, even at this age, to still have your parents in your tennis life?
Yeah, it's crazy good. I mean, I've been blessed to have them in my life, and especially in the sport and my job and what my career, what I do. So it's been awesome. And he also coaches Taylor Townsend full time, so on the road. So, but since we're home and we all live in Atlanta, I've gotten a lot of time to spend with them on the court, and I call it the lab. And we get out there and we're working on stuff, and we're talking trash, and it's just great to be able to do it with people you love and that know you the best and want the best for you no matter what.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because I know there's a lot of people, like I think of myself or anybody, right? You know, the bigger your circle gets, the more people want to see you fail. You know what I mean? So just being able to like keep your family close and keep your loved ones close, man, that's real. That's the real deal.
Yeah, that's been amazing. I couldn't have done it without him. I mean, without my mom sacrificing her job and my dad literally working to teach lessons to fly me to a tournament and then back. Yeah, it's all been a group effort.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. And speaking of quarantine, like, how has training changed? Because like for me, you know, I still coach or whatever, but the thing that's interesting is like right now there's not a lot to train for. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
I'm always thinking like, how do you stay motivated during this time to keep going out every day?
Yeah, I kind of saw it as a time to like improve, especially in the gym and on the physical side of it, because I've never had this long off until there was a next tournament. So I kind of like hopped in the gym like right away. Like once I found out and really wanted to, start lifting, my trainer sent me some workouts. We went in pretty hard and had a whole meal plan, and I was trying to do that on that end. And then I've been lucky enough to have a court that I have access to, so I was able to get out there and practice as well. So me and Taylor were hitting by ourselves pretty much with my parents for a while, and but it was good to at least be able to hit some balls. It wasn't 5-6 days a week, but it was like 2-3 days, an hour. But just to roll the arm over, it felt great. And quarantine's hasn't been that bad for me, but it just hasn't been that bad, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, as I think about quarantine, I think it could be a gift and a curse, right? If you're injured, you got time to get back, but if you were playing well or playing a lot, you know what I mean? Like this off time's kind of like, or this uncertainty. But I think for me or anybody, it makes you appreciate the game that much more, just knowing that it can actually be taken away from everybody. And as I look at the news and watch cases go back up, I'm like, man, I hope we don't have to just stay inside again. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I really hope it doesn't go back to that, because things were just starting to heat up. And I actually had a couple EXO events that I played in, which was great for me. It was 2 weeks back-to-back, 4 days, 2 matches a day. So I got 16 guaranteed matches, and that was awesome, because to get that match play consistently and guaranteed, you got the chance to work out a lot of things that you don't normally get to do in a regular tournament. You don't play well first round, as you know, it's out. It's like it's done. Like, go home, I'll see you in 6 more days. Like. But this time it was another match and another one, and the next week I knew I had 8 more, and that really helped a lot. I was able to actually win the second event, which was pretty good, and then I have World Team Tennis next month. So I had some things I was planning for in the near future. So I had something that I was looking to.
Right. And at least that allows you like something to prepare for, right?
Right, 100%.
To train with the mission and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I also, as I think about it, I read some of the questions that come across the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of like favorite matches, right? And obviously, I know I was one of your favorite matches back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
No, but as you it's funny because like I'm sure you run into people like, yeah, I played you when I was 10. You're like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like it's just hard to keep up with everybody, especially as people grow older. But as you think of your, your favorite match or favorite tennis memory that you have, like what really comes to mind?
Man, when I was as a junior, I had a few like kind of like turning points where I felt like, oh man, I'm actually playing decent. Like I can, like play it with some of the guys. I was 13 and I was allowed to hit with the top guys in the Midwest at the time in Chicago. Like, so there was guys like Ryan Preston, Ryan Heller, PJ Rose. It was like Matt Brook. These dudes were all like it, and I was like, and they were really good. And I like looked up to these guys. So I was like, oh man, I would, just to hit with them. And then at first they were killing me, but then over time, as with anything, you see the ball, you see it, you start getting used to it. So then I went off to the Midwest Close, and I was able to like come through some of the guys because I've seen them before, and I was able to win the Midwest Close. And that was kind of like a turning point. Like, man, these guys are going to college, and I'm able to play with them at 13 and about to be 14. And it just really kind of like hit me then that, if I kept doing it, like maybe it was something, more than that.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that, because at that time, I think I probably was like first year 16s playing the 16s.
Yeah.
And I remember the whole talk of the Indianapolis, the close was like, you won 6-4, then there it is 6 all again. You won 6-3, then you beat someone going to Notre Dame and Michigan.
Right.
You look up and you see, you won the tournament. I was just like, wow, that's big news, especially like mentally, to be able to realize you got over that hump. Now you're ready for something else and the next step, and being so young. I think that was special.
Yeah, because that was the main thing for me and my parents. It was a college scholarship. That was the goal. And then once that happened, I was like, wow, like, okay, well, I know I'll get that now. So let's what else is after that? And
Right.
things kind of happened quick after that. But that was not expected at all. Like that just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, no. And I mean, for you, just having influential people in your life and, people you looked up to, like who in your life, I mean, I know your parents were there, but do you have, other players on the tour, old school guys that you looked up to that, really helped you propel through some of those tough times?
Yeah, like growing up, I had some people like John McEnroe helped out quite a bit when I was a kid, like more so just, talking about it and getting my name out there. And I was able to he hooked me up with his agent, and that helped out a lot. And just were able to open some doors for me as far as, Andrew Roddick brought me down to his house and we trained for a week. And that was kind of eye opening before he was going off to like Rome and some not challengers, but Master Series on clay.
Yeah.
And at the time he was working with Jimmy Connors. So he was there. So these were like some really cool like chances to just kind of be around and like listen to these people talk. Like, yeah, they weren't trying to help me necessarily, but in me being in their presence, I learned a lot from those type of moments that kind of propelled me higher, faster than it would have been if I was doing the normal route.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, it always helps no matter what you're doing, in my opinion, just to have people who, not only you look up to, but who can help you progress along as well.
Right. For sure.
That's funny. And then I'm just thinking through one other question. Like, if you think of young juniors now, like you had people who helped you. If you look now at the junior tour, like what advice would you give someone who, who's trying to play pro or who wants to go to that next level?
Yeah, my main thing that I've battled with and always noticed that could be really beneficial is like always keep an open mind, in the sense of always stay coachable. Like, a lot of, you start learning some things, you do it okay, you think you're doing it really well, and you start, oh man, I know it, I don't need to hear this. Like, I'm not listening to you. Like, I know more than you. But these are the exact same people that got you to where you are, right? So when you close off your mind, I just feel like you really stop the growth, and for me, I've had those moments, and it's really been hard, and it's a constant mental like battle to just stay open-minded and coachable, because as long as you do that, you can improve and you can get to the next level and reach your goals. But as soon as you close your mind, it's a wrap pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like the gift and the curse of being good. I mean, it's if you're beating everybody, it's hard like to stay coachable. I mean, but if you're struggling a little bit, I mean, you're more prone to listen. But I mean, I think obviously you've had such a long career, and the longevity of your career. I mean, obviously you've listened, you've been through the ups and downs, the grind of the tour, or of traveling a lot and things like that. So, and have you liked that, just the travel piece?
If I'm be totally honest, I love the tournaments. I hate the travel. Like when I was younger, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna hop on a plane and we're gonna go here. My first trip to Australia, I was excited the whole 15 hours, right? Like every trip now, I dread it all year. Like, oh man, I come back home, I'm like, well, next January I gotta go back. And but the tournament, to be there, everything that goes along with it, I enjoy and still love to this day. So that's just an obstacle I have to, get over to get there.
Yeah. That's funny. It's like the first year, it's like all good. The next year, it's like, can I just hop in the tube or something and be there?
100%. I wish I could
hop on the court.
teleport or something.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
funny.
Yeah.
And then I mean, we're all getting. I haven't seen any gray hairs on my head yet, but I know they're coming, right? And I laugh because I'm like, yeah, no, I feel young, but then
Right.
kids start calling you like Mr. Clark, and you look at your parents or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But as you think of the next few years for you, and obviously not knowing what's going to happen with COVID, like, are you setting goals? Do you see yourself continuing 3 to 5 years? Like, how do you plan out that part or piece of your game?
Yeah, I definitely have some things I still want to achieve in the game. So that's kind of keeping me motivated. But obviously I'm on that third leg of the career. It's not the beginning, it's not the middle, it's more the third leg. So yeah, definitely you think about like what you might do after more than I did when I was 22, So like you just start planning some things, and you don't want it to like those things to become so in the forefront that it starts taking over the actual, the important things, because that's what's right now is going to allow me to do that. So I haven't necessarily made that thing the priority yet, but there are definitely things in the works that I'm thinking about and talking to my family and people that I can like kind of, align myself with to make that transition a little easier.
Yeah, and I'm also think too, I mean, right now players are playing longer. Which obviously works in everybody's favor because it's like a test study or case study to see how long they play, how long they can stay healthy, how long they keep going at it out there. So in my mind, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Like guys are going longer. The physical part. They have these trainers and physios and all the machines that you can have to recover and help you get better and stay feeling great are all there. So you want to utilize all those things that the guys in the older generation didn't have. So that's why I think you see guys playing a lot longer and moving just as good and enjoying it.
Yeah, and staying healthy too.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure nutrition, weights, strength training, having like you said, having all those, having access to that stuff is amazing too.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So one more question for you.
Okay.
So as you sign off, as you think about this, like I know I asked you in 3 to 5 years or whatever where you want to be, but like as you look at this year and having uncertainty, like what's one goal you have, and then also to finish it off, like what's one thing that people just don't know about you that you might think you can share, the wild card?
Okay. Man, so this year, if it happens, I would love to be able to work my way and my ranking back up to where I'm able to get into the top big tournaments again, like on my own without having to qualify or whatever, get a wild card or get some help. I want to be able to earn that position. And that's a main goal. I'm starting to play better again, and I feel like it's coming back. So that's a goal of mine, like right now. And let's see, something that people do not know. Man. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Wow. That's really good. I don't know what context of. It's probably some. I mean, I bet someone could probably answer that way better than me.
Better.
Yeah. I like to think I'm like I come off like pretty serious around people that don't know me that well, but I like to joke around a lot and make jokes and make people laugh, and I like people watching. So one of my favorite things to do is like just look at people and critique and say things about it and just laugh in a funny way. But I get joy out of that, honestly. Like I just like to see. I see so many people that it's enjoyable just to like look out and talk about things.
And it's funny you mention that because like your demeanor on the court, like you're serious. Like when the camera's on, the lights on, even 100%. Off the court, right? Like you're on, you're wired, and you carry yourself like with that. But it's funny just to that behind closed doors you can joke and have a good time and be with your friends and stuff like that.
Always smiling, always having fun. Like I'm rarely serious outside of playing tennis, like or outside of like people who don't know. If you're around me, like everything's a joke. Everyone's trying to laugh all the time.
That's funny, man.
Yeah,
that's funny, man.
Sure.
Man, listen, that's all I got. Short and easy, man. I appreciate really you taking the time because I know you're training and doing different things. And I know your summer's about to heat up with World Team Tennis. But again, I wish you all the best. It was good to connect, and hopefully it won't be another 20 years before we run into each
No,
other.
it feels like it's probably been that long. Straight up,
That's when you know you're getting old. Someone told me, like, if you can say something's been like 20 years, like you're
Right.
getting old.
Yeah,
And I told her, like, yeah, about 30 years ago we had this IG talk, and now we're gonna need phones by that time. So
Oh, man. No, man. Thanks for having me. It's funny you say that because there's guys on tour that were born in like 2000.
yeah,
I'm like, yo, I was playing tournaments in 2000. Like, this is crazy. And
right.
but yeah, I've enjoyed this conversation, man. We have to do it again, and yeah, definitely not 20 more years.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. Enjoy Atlanta. You're still in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, still in Atlanta now. Yeah.
Right now, yep. Enjoy Atlanta, man, and we'll catch up soon. Tell your
All
family
right.
I said hi as well.
Will do. Thanks, Chris, man.
All right.
Be good.
All right. You too, man.
Bye.